Hi, everybody. So there's going to be something a little bit different this year. For open house, instead of meeting you at school, except for the new families, I'm going to make this video and talk to you about the things I would have normally talked to you about at open house. First of all, I want to explain to you how excited I am to see the kids and be face to face again. It's been a long time since we've been in the classroom, but I think the kids really need it, and I really need it too. I'm going to explain the newsletter that's going to be found here. I'm not going to read it all. So you're going to be able to go back onto this site and read for yourself what the information is. So to start with, our partnership is a three-way partnership. It's me, parents, and children. And the way we work on this is my responsibility is to provide a positive learning environment for the students, encourage them along the way, and teach them what they need to know. And then for your child, it's for them to show up at school and to be on time and ready to learn. Now, I know that this year is going to be a little bit different with some of those things. And, there might be a fever or something else, and there might be some distance learning that goes on. That's fine. Still checking in with these sites that will make it easy for us to stay on top of things. And then a parent's responsibility is to encourage your child and have a space for them and some tools at home for them to be able to do their work at home. I'm looking forward to it, and I think this will help us to be very successful along the way in our journey. All of that is explained right here. Down below, reading and language arts. For our reading and language arts program, we're going to build on spelling and vocabulary. I love to do read alouds, and I spent the summer finding new books for us to read in the classroom. The first one we're going to start with is called Fuzzy Mud, and it incorporates some studies about bioline and invasive species. And so it's going to be a really good book for us to read together and explore those topics as well. The kids will have questions to go through along the way. And I've made a Google site that has all the information about the book Fuzzy Mud, as well as discussion questions for us. We'll be doing this throughout the year. The second book that I chose is called The Kid Who Ran for President. And as I was reading that, I noticed that there were a whole bunch of references to our laws and how the president is chosen, what the electoral college is. And so this will be a good way for us in a fun way to read this story and be able to also study the whole process. Social studies, we're going to learn about history. We're going to study the past. When we learn about the sequence of things like the Native Americans, when the people came over from Europe and they saw how the Native Americans were living and how they set up their government or their governance of their tribes, they liked that rather than just a king or a monarchy. So we're going to be learning more about those kinds of things and how the past influences the future. We're going to also be working on a project where the students will investigate a family member. Typically, I like for this to be a grandparent or someone 2 generations older, and then we'll write a book about that person. I was thinking this would be the year I probably wouldn't do this project again. But then last week, one of the students that I had in 2013, they called, the grandfather had passed away, and they wanted to know if they could still order copies of the book. And she ended up getting 5 more copies of that book and then came over and picked them up and was so appreciative. They're held on a Shutterfly website, so they're going to be there. I have them all the way back to, I think, 2006. So it's a neat project, and that was my answer. Need to keep doing it. And then in science, we're going to be talking about so many different things. We're starting with those invasive species. We're going to be learning about the Earth and solar system. We have physical science, earth science, life science. And then on top of that, we will also be doing some fun stuff. Like there's a whole unit that I've worked on about the science of cheeseburgers. And it talks about how yeast is used in the bread and how cheese forms from dairy products, and then how pickles are made and even ketchup, and then the browning process of meat. So we're learning science, and then I bring in a griddle, I bring in some meat, and we have some cheeseburgers. So it can be a really fun thing to do too. In math, we are going to be using something called the Beast Academy. I also love playing card games with the kids, and we're going to figure that out too. I know that we will be doing some social distancing, and so things are going to be a little bit different, but we have the smart board and we have some other tools that we can use. We're still going to be using Beast Academy, an online platform. And then what we did last year is the students would come to me and we would work in small groups. We're going to still be able to do that. And then they'll be able to progress at their own pace. It'll make it a very great way for us to use a multi-age classroom for it with the multi-ages in there to be able to do that. Speaking of the multi-age classroom, I know a couple of people had mentioned some concern about third, fourth, and fifth all in one classroom. Well, this is nothing. When I started at Synday Academy years and years ago, it was about 16 years ago, I had first, second, third, and fourth in one classroom. And then the next year, I had third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and then two eighth graders that were doing an online program. So this is nothing. I can handle it. Don't worry about that. And the kids they'll love it too. The next thing I wanted to talk about was transportation, the idea of pickup and drop off. It's really important that at school, the students are in the passenger side of the car so that they're exiting at the door side. This year, we're doing something completely different. The students will walk the sidewalk around the perimeter of the building. So my classroom will be entering through the library door. It's the door closest to impact point where our gymnasium is. They'll come in there, they'll put their bags away, their backpacks, get out their homework, they'll have their coats hung up, and they'll have a spot where their lunches will go, their lunch and their water bottles. It's important that you not pass anybody in the line. As you go to do that, sometimes people go around a car just as that car is going to go forward. I promise it will only be a few seconds, but the idea of making safety come first is so much more important than trying to get out past that car. And you never know. So a child might have dropped a glove, or maybe one of their papers started to blow away. So we don't want to put anyone in harm's way by going around the cars. It will work, trust me. Another thing I'd like to ask is that you stay off your cell phones, because this is a good time for you to be fully aware of what's going on coming in and coming out of the cars. We did have one year where a child closed, the van door closed, and part of the backpack was stuck in the doorway. And luckily we were standing there and noticed that. But it's something that we have to be really careful of because it's a crazy and it's a busy time. So staying off your cell phone and being aware of where your child and the other children are is really important. We will be taking temperatures this year as the students come into the building, and we expect that they'll have masks on as they arrive. The masks will be on at arrival, and they'll wear them out of the building at dismissal. One of the things I requested was 5 masks. I feel like if they have one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then they have those laundered over the weekend, that will really help keep germs down. I also have a big box of the disposable ones at school just in case there's a sneeze in one or anything else, just so that they'll be ready and we're set. It's important too, we'll talk about this on the first day, that they don't exchange masks or even exchange food. So we're talking here about snacks and lunches. You can bring a healthy snack, thinking about fruits and vegetables, kind of avoiding things like oranges that are going to get sticky and messy on the tables, but bringing some sort of snack that they can have before lunch. Lunch will be at noon, and so it could be a little while. You can also participate in the lunch program if you're interested in that. But due to allergies and, of course, the COVID virus, we're going to ask that people do not share food. So please go over that with your child too. I mean, you don't know whether the child sitting next to you has a peanut allergy or maybe dairy. We've had children with pineapple allergies. And so if you pack that and the other child can't eat it, it could be very dangerous for them. I have 3 classroom rules. They're very simple. One person talks at a time. You can raise your hand and let us know that you want to say something too. The second one is follow directions the first time. So if you need them repeated, no big deal. I need things repeated a lot. But the idea of trying to listen and pay attention to do it the first time. And then the third one is keeping hands and feet and objects to yourself. This one covers a lot, because if you're poking someone with a pencil, well, clearly you're avoiding that rule. And so when we listen to those 3 rules, our classroom operates very smoothly. If you need to contact me, that's over in this section here, feel free to call the school's phone. It's 937-748-9999. It's very easy. I do check the app each day. You can message me on the app, but I'll be honest with you, my phone and I do not stay together during my work time. It's important for me to pay attention to the children, and I look at my phone at the end of the day. I'm not on it at lunchtime. I'm not on it at other times. So if you need to reach me, that's going to be your best bet, unless it's a message you want me to get after school. I also give out my cell phone number. When I did this, when we went into lockdown or when we had the pandemic that closed the school, I gave it to all the kids. And what I told them was, feel free to message me if you need to. And they were fabulous with it. I'm like, don't message me and ask me if I should have grilled cheese or egg salad. And they were good about that. Some of them did need to just chat. One texted several times and said, can I call you? No, I bet I can't. And I was like, of course you can. And so we ended up having little chats because his parents were at work. Don't worry about that. I'm here for them. I'm here for you if you need to message me or if you need to give me a call. Just be mindful that, I do have a life outside of school too. So I might take a little bit to get back with you. All right, birthdays. Birthdays are so important for kids, and it's a great time. I was lucky I never had a birthday during the school year because my birthday's New Year's Eve. But the idea that kids love to celebrate their birthdays. I like to request that we don't send in sugary sweets. If you've ever been in a classroom when the 3 inches of frosting come in on a cupcake, you would understand why I'm asking that. But we could send in a game for the classroom to use, or maybe a book for the class. Anything like that would be fine, or they can always use pencils. You would be amazed at how many pencils we go through in a school year. But it doesn't have to be a big deal, and I would appreciate it if it's not a huge sugary treat. Thanks. All right, down at the bottom, there's some more information. If you look at the Synday app each day, that'll keep you up to date. I will post on there. I also have Google Sites. I love Google Sites. Every Sunday, I will post on the app, and that will tell you what your homework is for the week. I'll express what Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are. We never have homework over the weekend. And that way, it's easy for you to know what to expect, and it's easy for the child to know what to expect. Um, my website is listed here. It's a Google site. Obviously, if you've seen this, you know how to get there. Our dress code is all the students will wear a uniform. If we ever get back to going to field trips, they need a red field trip shirt. It's just a red polo. And then Friday is Spirit Day, and they can wear spirit wear. It's something else that's sold on the sites. We will be having art on Monday, gym on Tuesday, music on Wednesday, and Spanish on Thursday. Because we have gym on Tuesday, students will arrive in their gym uniform, and that will work out perfectly then. They love that day because they get to wear something different instead of the uniform for that day. Most of them find the gym uniform to be a lot comfier. All right, here's a little bit about me. This feels weird to be saying, but I've been married to my husband for 31 years. We went last year to Ireland. We went on our honeymoon to Ireland, so we went back to the same exact spot last year. It was really neat. He's a great guy. He is the director of the MBA program for the University of Dayton. They're having their own little struggles and dramas right now as well. Just the idea of students not keeping their social distancing. I have 2 children. Madison is my daughter. She's the oldest, and she lives nearby. She lives near Cox Arboretum, and we go out there and walk her dog. And my son is Ian. He is going to be moving close to where Dayton Christian is, off Spring Valley, with his wife Stacy, and they're expecting a little boy in December. I think it's the day before my birthday, so it's very exciting. So you'll see in December, I'll be like floating around on cloud nine. It's exciting. This year is going to be great. I also work for WW, it's Weight Watchers, and I have a couple meetings, 3 meetings that I lead. A couple of years ago, I lost about 110 pounds, and so now I work with other people on that program. My son went to Cedarville, Madison went to Miami, Scott and I met at Miami. I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, I just finished my master's program in May. No graduation. That was quite exciting. But my master's was in instructional design and integration of technology. So you'll see, I love using technology in the classroom. Down here at the bottom, I didn't want to make this really long, but it kind of is. This is our classroom. Up here it says, welcome to our learning adventures. Here are the cubbies where the students will access all of their materials. I have a plan that they won't be going to the cubbies at the same time so that we can keep that social distancing. This is our classroom here, part of it. There will be hand sanitizer on each of those tables. they'll be using that a lot. Mrs. Pengalangan laughed at me because she said I was already germophobic last year. What am I going to be like this year? I will keep things clean and we will make sure your children stay safe. And I want to stay safe as well because I want to be around my future grandbaby. This is another set of cubbies here that the students will use. So they have some of them are in our classroom, some of them are in our other part of the classroom. We used to call it the library, but now it's all my room. This is from that library area that you can look into the classroom. Students will be able to sit in all of these spots. At times we'll move the tables out, socially distanced sitting when we're going to do one lesson, maybe on the smartboard so that they have spaces, but the tables won't be in the way. There's a bulletin board in the hallway that says adventures await you. That will be your child's first day of school picture. We'll end up going there. I love taking, I do photography. I've got some weddings in the springtime to do. Hopefully we will have weddings in the springtime. And so I love taking pictures on the first day of school. Down here at the bottom is something that Madison and I whipped up. It was just some signs with some of the topics. And our theme is happy campers. Hopefully that will help with our happiness this year. And then this is a table that blocks the entrance for that other room because this whole thing is going to be ours. I plan on using these benches that are outside, and we'll be taking some of our lessons outdoors. This is another picture, another view of our classroom. This is our first book, Fuzzy Mud, and it's by Louis Sacher. I don't know how to say his name, but he's an awesome author. He wrote Holes. And then we will be having I wonders that go along with the book. After we read it, you might have a wonder about what the book's about. And then here is Mrs. McDonald's Happy Campers. And so we have 14 students in our class and one remote student. I'm really looking forward to this school year. I hope that this little open house video helps you and helps you understand a little bit more about what our classroom is like. And hopefully it helps you get to know me a little bit. I love technology. I love photography. I take a 5K walk every day because I love being outside. You just have to move that schedule around a little bit once school starts. And I really, really love teaching. I cannot wait to see your children and see you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little long, but it was the only way to let you know what's going on. I will talk to you later. Bye.